What's good? My name is Shady Croft. You've heard of Adam and Eve, right? Of course you have. They're the first humans to ever walk Earth, right? Wrong. Did you know that you could use the Bible to accurately measure back to when they were created by God? No? Well, here we go. Genesis 5 gives a full account of Adam's entire family tree and their full lifespans all the way to Noah when the flood happens. This gives us 1,656 years between the creation of Adam and the flood. Later in the Bible, we're told that Abraham was born 2 years after Noah's death. Well, Genesis 7:6 tells us that Noah was 600 years when the flood covered the earth. It also says that Noah died at 950 years old. Since Abraham was born 2 years after that, just add 352 to 1,656 and we get the years from Adam to Abraham. According to the Bible, there are 2,018 years between the birth of Abraham and the birth of Jesus. Jesus died at age 33. His crucifixion obviously was around 2016 years ago. That's where we get our modern calendar from. That's why we call this the year 2016. This gives us a grand total of 6,175 years, give or take. That is how long ago God supposedly created the first humans according to the most read book of all time. Well, this human fossil is 30,000 years old. This human fossil is 100,000 years old. This human fossil is 160,000 years old. And this human fossil is 195,000 years old, all according to the Smithsonian Museum. But if God didn't create Adam and Eve until 6,000 years ago, who created these people? It seems that religion doesn't fully line up with the world that we see around us. Is God bigger than religion? Well, first we must realize that the concept of God is a fairly new thing. The Garden of Eden was said to be between the river of Tigris and the river of Euphrates. Well, those rivers are still around today, and they surround Iraq. And based on evidence from every monotheistic religion, it seems that this may indeed be where the Garden of Eden was. In ancient times, this land was called Samaria. Did you know that the world's first ever written words were found right here in Iraq? And the even weirder fact is that these first ever written words tell the story of Genesis, almost verbatim. Yet they were written thousands of years prior to the Bible. They tell about the Anunnaki, which means those who from the heavens came. These were beings that descended from the heavens and created a race of people called the Adamu, which may be where we get the name Adam from. They also say we will create man in our image, and these exact words are still written in the Bible. Except the ancient Sumerians clearly state that it was multiple beings and not God in three persons as modern day variations would have you believe. Well, guess when all of this was written? Just about 6,000 years ago, the same time we track Genesis back to. The story gets weirder. The first sign of agriculture was also found here about 6,000 years ago. The first ever statues and hieroglyphics and architecture and human history were also found here around 6,000 years ago. Although the human race has been around for at least 195,000 years. We were virtually ignorant cavemen until about 6,000 years ago. Every book, every pyramid, every language, every single thing humans have ever done worth talking about was created within the past 6,000 years. In fact, every religion on earth, period, can trace their origins back to just around 6,000 years ago. And they all tell the same story about beings coming down from the sky, teaching them about everything. Could the whole earth really be lying? It is researchable fact that the ancient Sumerians and the ancient Egyptians virtually came out of nowhere with full and complete knowledge and understanding of everything. They call it stair-step evolution. Humans had just been basically animals eating, sleeping, and mating for over 100,000 years. Then all of a sudden, about 6,000 years ago, boom. Math, science, language, agriculture, architecture, all at the same time out of nowhere. The Aztecs, Incans, Mayans, Sumerians, Egyptians, Romans, Greeks, Hindus, and even Christians and Muslims talk about beings coming from the sky teaching them all knowledge. And all human evidence supports that before these religions and cultures came about, humans were just regular unintelligent animals operating off instinct trying to survive like everything else. It's as if there was a worldwide alien invasion and the beings from the sky came down, mixed their DNA with ours, and created a new and improved human species. At the end of the day, the earth is 4.5 billion years old. It wouldn't make sense for God, the creator of the universe, to just now announce himself 6,000 years ago. So maybe these religions aren't talking about God, the creator of the universe, but rather God, the creator of us. That would explain a lot. Then it would make sense why God would put us in the Garden of Eden and then kick us out. And then after the entire earth was populated, destroyed in a giant flood and start over. Then after that didn't work, send his only begotten son to be born as a human to save mankind. For an all-knowing, all-powerful creator of the universe to do that wouldn't make much sense because he could have just created them properly in the first place. But for a very advanced being from another place gallivanting as God who wasn't really all-knowing and all-powerful but merely just a genetic engineer of our species to do that, it would make sense that he might mess up a few times and have to start over. While we modern earthlings argue about who the true and living God is, the ancients walked and talked with these so-called gods. Many religions, including Christianity, actually talk about people mating with these gods and angels and creating giants called the Nephilim. We've even found the bones of these beings. Here, 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 and here. What happened approximately 6,000 years ago that turned us from cavemen to astronomers and preachers constantly looking towards the heavens for God? I don't know. But I do know I love you. Yo, one more thing. If you like that video and you like music too, then you can check out my music on SoundCloud.com/ArchDukeDoStuff. SoundCloud.com/ArchDukeDoStuff. We got a new album called Kids with Crowns. It's really dope. I think you like it. Follow Archduke Do Stuff on Instagram, Facebook, everywhere. Archduke, Archduke, Archduke. Check out our music. It's pretty dope. Peace.
So excited to enlighten all the sheep, so provided more desire to achieve. Ultraviolet rays igniting when I speak.